Hey guys, Mark Hopkins here, and it's a big day for me because I've never had a full frame digital camera, and I've been shooting since film. I got my start shooting in 1990 as an assistant photographer. Did my own stuff for a number of years as well, but then got into I wanted to be a fashion photographer. You know, doing like Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue and all that thing. That was my big dream. Anyway, I got sucked up into doing weddings. And there was no plan to be a wedding photographer. That wasn't my original plan, but the money was good and I was busy. So I was doing engagements and wedding portraits, wedding photography and engagement portraits, and then some family portraits as well. But what I'm getting at is always shot with a crop sensor. And here we are in 2018, and I finally got my full frame digital camera. Okay, I didn't get the Nikon D5, nor did I get the Nikon D4, but I did my research, and I'm one of those guys that, you know, I want to get the best bang for my buck. So crop sensors made sense for me back then. I wasn't going to spend $5-6 grand on a camera, but I would spend $2,500. First started with the Fuji S1 when it was announced back in 2001, I believe. Then I went with the Fuji S2 Pro. I was still shooting film at that time. I was shoot film and digital. Most of the reception was shot digitally, but the important stuff, the portraits and things like that, I still shot on film because the skin tones just looked more pleasing to me. And so here we are. I got a Nikon D3. And this one is it's virtually brand new. I mean, it's got 9,000 shutter clicks, and I got a great deal on it. And I figure, hey, you know, I'm not going to splurge and get a D5. I can't afford that, or D4. But a D3 is, you know, a great value. And I'm finally going to have a chance to use all my original Nikon AFD lenses that I was using with my F100 and my N90 back in the day. When I first started doing wedding photography, I was shooting on a Nikon FE2. I had two bodies. One had a motor drive, and I shot with those two bodies for a couple years, and I said, you know what, I need autofocus. It's getting too hard to focus. So you don't need the best stuff, the newest, greatest gear, guys, is what I'm saying. And I did well with wedding photography for a number of years, probably like 8 or 10 years. Anyway, I'm going to break out my Fuji F100 because I've put that thing in storage and didn't want to sell it for sentimental reasons, I guess. So let me grab it. So the F100, I love this camera. A lot of guys were shooting with an F4 at that time, I think. So this is the F100 with the motor drive. And bought this thing used from a guy in Vegas back in probably 2000, 1999, 2000. I had an N90, I have an N90 as well, and I went from my Nikon FE2s to the N90, and that was just a pleasure to shoot with. Autofocus, fast focusing was great. But yeah, the F100, basically the same size, it's actually lighter than this D3, but it fits good in the hand. Okay guys, so that's the just a side-by-side comparison. So here's the N90. I got a Sony strap on here for my VX1000. I've been at this a long time, guys. So the N90 and the F100, those are the two cameras I use. I also use the FE2, and I put I think a roll of black and white in the FE2. That became my black and white camera. But pretty happy, man, to be shooting with these big bodies again. You know, I have a D7000, that's what I'm recording on now. It doesn't feel anything like these cameras. The D200s I use as backup, but I'm getting rid of those now, so the D7000 will be my backup, the D3 will be my main camera probably, depending on what I'm shooting. But there's the N90. So I'm reminiscing, guys, just reminiscing here. This was the fantastic duo back in 1999, 2000, 2001. These were the my cameras that I was using. These bad boys. They were great, man. They were great. And you know, I was shooting 30 to 40 weddings a year, plus engagement portraits, plus family portraits at the time. Those were the good old days of being a wedding photographer. I'm sure it's still good for a few people, but it's a rat race, I believe, now. Anyway, the D3, pumped up to use this thing. Mainly I want to try these, all my AFD lenses that didn't work too well on my D7000. With the D7000, things just didn't look as sharp. The only DX lens I have for the D7000 is a 17 to 55 AFS EDIF 2.8. And when I shoot with that, things look good. Look pretty good. So I use that camera most of the time. My 80 to 200 AFD lens isn't as sharp. It's sharper on my D200, believe it or not, than on my D7000. Same with the prime lenses, with the exception of the 50. I have a 35mm and an 85mm f1.8, and they were just never that great on the D7000. Probably not on the D200 as well. So I'm pumped to put them on this D3 and see what we get. So hold on, and I'm going to try it out. Alright guys, so did some testing with the D3 with my 35mm f2 AFD Nikon lens, and also with the 50 1.8, also with an 85 AFD 1.8, as well as with the Sigma 24mm f1.8 macro, and everything looks freaking great. So right now I'm gonna wait for my son to get home, and then I'm gonna test it with my 80 to 200 for portraits and see how it does. I'm expecting it to do very well though, but this is what it looks like with that lens on there. With the hood. It is a beast. It's durable, it's heavy, but I work out, so I just will switch arms and do some curls with this thing. Okay, overhead presses, front raises for the shoulders. You know, you can use it. I don't know how many pounds that is, but it's a beast. You know, but you know, it's what I wanted, and after all these years, I can say I have a real professional body Nikon full frame. So hold on a sec, I'm going to show you my D200s next to this as well, okay? So hold on a sec. Okay, so here is the D3 with my 85mm. Has a cool hood that comes with this. Now keep in mind, I've had all these lenses since, I probably purchased some of them in 1999, some of them 2000, 2001. That's probably when I started getting all my lenses. And it's really unfortunate that I haven't been able to use these lenses because I was on a crop sensor, and that crop sensor, these lenses don't work that great on a crop sensor. They're a little soft. Even on the D200, I believe, I haven't used I haven't been using my D200s for years, so I do use them as a second body for weddings. I'll have a 12 to 24mm lens on it, or the 80 to 200. I put on the D200 because it's, like I said before, the 80 to 200 didn't look good on my D7000, but it worked pretty well on the D200. So I got a D200 here in my left hand with the 50mm Nikon, and the D3 has the 85. So pretty good size difference. Okay, but the D200 feels good. I like the D200. It has a better body than the D7000. It has a better grip. It feels more durable. Doesn't feel as plasticky. But we'll be getting rid of the D200s, and wish the D3 had video, but I got such a good deal on it, and you know, I got video on the D7000. I don't shoot a whole lot of video, but it would have been nice. But anyway, there you go, guys. So now I want to talk about why I went with the D3. As I mentioned before, I like getting the most for my dollar. Best bang for the buck. Okay? And I feel the D3 in this day and age, even though it's 12 megapixels, the quality of those megapixels is what counts. It's not the size. Everybody is so caught up in the size of the megapixels. How many megapixels? You know, the D800 has 36, Canon's got a 50, Sony's got a 42. I'm not blowing up photos any larger than 20 by 30. I don't think I've ever printed anything. Well, yes, I have. I have printed on vinyl banners that were 8 feet or whatever. But you know, even those look great. They're good. You know, it's those banners are made to view from a distance. They're not made to view from a foot away. So 12 megapixels is more than enough, and the D3 has quality megapixels from all my research, and even from the files I just looked at from the quick shoot I just did. I did some test shots with my pup and some of the flowers around the yard. So it looks good. It looks great. It looks really good. I'm sure I'll be happy with it. What I'm looking for in a camera is functionality and ergonomics. Got to be able to access my ISO. Got to be able to access shutter speed and aperture modes and all my modes and all of that. And I know Nikon. I've been using Nikon forever, so I know it like the back of my hand. So I'm not one of those guys that's going to be switching to Canon, switching to Sony, because when you zoom in at 150% or 200%, you can see a difference. Okay, I'm not a pixel peeper. So instead of going through all that, I just keep the stuff I have. I've always had Nikon. I've never switched, even though a lot of my colleagues in the business have switched from Canon to Nikon and back and forth. So I'm still with Nikon, and the D3 has everything I need. I was looking for a professional body. I was looking for a full frame camera. I considered the D750. I considered the D810. Considered the D500. Considered the D610 and 600. And you know, I mean, D750 would have costed me, I got this for just under $700. The body, 9,000 shutter clicks. Comparable D750 would be probably $1,200, $1,300 is what I was seeing. Of course, you get video. You get 24 megapixels. But this thing is a beast. The way it feels in the hand and the way it just feels, it's just, I wanted something that was rugged and a professional body, and plus, you know, half the price to go with this. I also considered the D700. That was my second choice, but you know, for $200 more, I got this. Okay, so D600 full frame, but again, you know, I'm going to be paying for newer technology. Can you really see that technology when you see the pictures? No. But from all my research, people love the D3. Okay, so those are the reasons. I mean, I didn't want to deal with the large file sizes. A D810, I found those for about $1,100-$1,200. But you know, it's almost double what I paid for this, and I'm going to be working on 36 megapixel files. I really don't need that. It's overkill. I'm not a landscape photographer. I'm not I don't have a gallery. I'm not selling prints or anything like that. 20 by 30 is probably the biggest I'm ever going to go. So anyway, those are the reasons. I wanted something that was a durable and just a tough body. So those are the reasons I picked the D3. So anyway guys, thanks for tuning in. I don't do a lot of photography videos. I may in the future, but those are my reasons. Alright guys, hope this helped you.